Modulo operator in Python. The modulo operator in Python returns the remainder of dividing the left-hand operand by right-hand operand. The percent symbol in Python is called the modulo operator. Here, we're telling the program to print the remainder of when we divide 5 by 2. Modulo operator exercise in Python. Ask the user for a number. Depending on whether the number is even or odd, print out an appropriate message to the user. So let's get started. First of all, we have to ask the user for a number. And we're going to store that number inside of a variable called number. And so we want this number to be an integer. So we'll write int for short. Int in Python is integer. Next, we'll make two pairs of parentheses. In the first one, we'll write input because we want the user to input the number. And in the second pair of parentheses, we'll put our prompt inside of quotes. So let's write enter a number. And now if we run our program, it'll ask us to enter a number. So let's enter a number. And let's enter 5. Well, the program did not do anything because we haven't wrote down anything after this line of code. So let's continue on writing the code. Next it says, depending on whether the number is even or odd, print out an appropriate message to the user. Okay, so here we'll use two conditions. An if statement and an else statement. So here we'll write if number, basically the number which the user inputs, if number is equal to, and this is where the modulo operator comes in. Now, remember, an even number is always divisible by 2. And when we divide the even number by 2, we always get 0 as the remainder. So if number modulo 2 is equal to 0, this line is basically saying if the number divided by 2 has a remainder of 0, then the program should print this number is even. Now, let's say I entered the number 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And there's no remainder. So the modulo operator is used for getting the remainder of two numbers when dividing. Okay, now that the even part is done, now we have to make the odd part. So there are only two types of numbers, even numbers and odd numbers. So for the rest, we can just write else print this number is odd, because if the number divided by 2 has a remainder more than 0 or not equal to 0, then the program should print this is odd. This number is odd. So let's run this program and see if it works. Okay, here it asks us to enter a number. And so let's enter a number and write 9. It'll say that this number is odd because when we divide 9 by 2, the remainder is 1 and it's not equal to 0. Okay, let's run this program again and enter a different number. Let's say I enter 1024. It'll say that this number is even because if we divide 1024 by 2, it'll give us 512 without any remainder. And this is how you can write a program using the modulo operator in Python.